Welcome to my thesis defense. I'm going to give you the brief description of my thesis. What was the topic? What was the methodology of my research? What was the findings? And what's the limitation and my recommendations as well. So first of all, let me pull up my slides. Yes, here it is. My topic was mental health challenges and resilience among international graduate students in the USA. So my thesis advisor was Dr. N. Kerber, and other two committee member was Dr. Farah Azhar and Dr. Emily Boyd. So what was the rationale of my thesis? It is well established that American institutions are role model to the others, that means the other nations. Everyone wants to come in the United States, but there is a lot of opportunities. But on the other hand, there are a lot of challenges. International graduate students face a lot of challenges, and they have to overcome their challenges. And in my research, I try to focus on the topic of stigma. Stigma is the tendency of hide their problems, hide their challenges. Uh, Not only the international graduate students, but also American students are suffering this kind of stigmas. Mm, uh, so I I try to compare what percentage of American students or local students are suffering these kinds of stigmas, and what are the other part, like the international graduates students suffer from this stigma. Uh, and the topic of student mental health and psychological well-being is becoming increasingly significant on university campuses. That's why I try to focus uh, on the mental health of international graduate students. Uh, and as an international graduate student, I suffered a lot uh, when when a graduate students, they have a lot of responsibilities, uh, like uh, like their study, and their other responsibilities like their graduate assistantship, or uh, teaching assistantship, or research assistantship. Whatever it is, they have other responsibilities. So not only the international graduate, but also the local students have to do all these things. So when when an international graduate students start their grad study here, they have to faces some other unique challenges. That is that, for example, homesickness, their financial instability, and other things. I will discuss in later. So my objectives is challenges of international graduate student what are facing there, and what would be the possible way out to overcome those kinds of challenges. So my research question was, how do international graduate students experience and discuss mental health challenges? Secondly, what difficulties do they encounter that contribute to the stigmatization of their mental health? And last but not least, how do they develop resilience to the challenges? So, first of all, I want to share my own experience, uh, uh, and this kind of experience, and not only me as an international graduate, but also the other international graduate faces. Like it started from the visa process, then the travel from other country uh, to the USA. Then the residency problems is the bigger one. In some schools who have their on-campus houses, they maybe they suffer less, but who do not have the on-campus residency, they have a lot of sufferings. Then their maintaining the studentship is the main responsibility for graduate students. Yeah, uh, the expectation of graduate schools is more than that the undergrad schools. And then uh, students need to maintain their assistantship. Uh, most of the graduate students hold the assistantship. Most of the cases, they have to uh, spend their time for maintaining those assistantship. And self-care, family life, and social life, it was the other part for their personal life. Uh, so they have to balance all these things as an international graduate student. So to establish my research question or find my answer from the research question, I did a lot of literature review in my study, where I argue the different interrelated elements of communication inform how mental illness is viewed and experienced by international graduate students. Uh, First, international graduate students come from diverse background and they must acclimate to American culture while navigate the demands of graduate education. Second, discussing mental health issue can be challenging because it is stigmatized in most cultures. And I try to incorporate some method or theories in, in my study. First of all, in the theory part, stigma management communication, it's a very popular theory in the communication field. Uh, and then I try to incorporate some other theories like information seeking behaviors, verbal centeredness, or VPC, and other the cognitive emotion theory and esteem support messages, and other theories like the culture-centered approach, and other some other theories. I try to incorporate or try to accommodate all this thing in my research. Uh, so the method section, Yes, obviously it's a qualitative method I followed, and to to select the population of participants, I chose the snowball sampling method, and for collection data collection process was focus group discussion. It's a collective or group wise interviews, and my participants was in total in 13. uh, 3 was female, and the 10 was male. I did 3 focus group discussion, and I chose a thematic analysis. Thematic analysis is very good method uh, for uh, find out some questions or uh, or or, uh, or like this to do. And my findings was I found 4 mental health challenges and some of the resilience process or strategy. So first of all, mental health challenges. One, cultural acclimation and homesickness. International graduate students go through a different situation, their own culture, and the US's culture is most of the cases is totally different. So they have to adjust with this culture. And sometimes they have to sacrifice their own cultures, but not fully sacrificed, and they feel homesickness. Most of the cases, especially when they faces the mental stress, at that time they feel more homesickness than the other time. And in this case, their first semester or their first year is the most difficult part of their graduate life. And secondly, mental health challenges too. It's the academic stress and balancing responsibilities. What I discussed in my background part, the graduate school expecting a lot from the graduate students. So a lot of study is involving here, and most of the classes are discussion based. Uh, so in this school, in this level, international graduate mm, students students have to spend their lot of time for their uh, academic purpose, their studies, their reading, and side by side they have to balancing their responsibilities as well. Uh, then mental health challenges 3 is financial uncertainty and their personal issues. Uh, the- you know, in the graduate level, this type of study is expensive. Like you have to first of all, you have to pay your health insurance. You have to uh, mm, pay your semester fee or other fees included here. But your only income source is the assistantship or sometimes on campuses job. You are not eligible for do in the off campuses job or other type of job. It is very restricted by federal law. Sometimes it's the state laws. So you cannot do this. So financial uncertainty uh, is very obvious here. And sometimes the personal issues like this, the family problems and their personal problems is included here. So it is the great challenges for international graduate students. Mental health challenges four is language barrier and stigma. As an international student, most of the students English is not their first language. So when they want to communicate with other people, with their professors, with their peers, with their friends, that time they feel shy, or they're not feel comfort with discuss the academic things or other things as well. So in that case, they try to avoid to involve the uh, uh, deep discussion or insightful discussion. They always try to communicate with the surface level. Mm, so that is the big challenges for international graduate students, and they always try to hide themselves. What I said in earlier, they are very much stigmatized. So that was my four findings. And to overcome these kinds of challenges, they try to find some strategies, and they try to take support from their friends, from their professors, and uh, institutionals body like this, from the departments, from the counseling center uh, of the universities. And so they try to take the mental health support, emotional and esteem support, informational support and advice, and sometimes they try to take support from social media, or you can say computer mediated support. Like for example, uh, some people maintain the some Facebook groups. Uh, that group uh, that group provide you some kind of support. Uh, in the conclusion, I try to give all my questions answers, and what is my contribution for the theoretical part, and yeah, and the practical part. And in my paper I give some limitations, like the focus group discussions is one of the methodological methodological limitations. Sometimes people are very shy or feel ashamed to talk to other people in front of other peoples. So this one, yeah, is the one of the limitation, and other limitations. Uh, when I select my participants or population, that times I chose the snowball sampling. So that's why most of the people come from the same countries like Bangladesh. That is my origin. and I try to give some future direction, what would be the future research area uh, for this. And I think that's all about from my side. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask me. Thank you. Thanks for your patience hearing.